What's up, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Happy Thursday. We have the Pump Rules and Ariana reacting to Tom Sandoval after he just announced or just filed his latest lawsuit against Ariana Madix. We also have some Orange County news. We have the taglines, and we have Shannon Storm's Beador that is closing the door on Tamra Judge. Let's get into it. You're listening to No Filter with Zack Pack, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. What up, everybody in the club? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I hope you guys are having a lovely week. We are now finally at today's Thursday, right? Yeah, we have a new episode of the Pop Report that came out on Wednesday. We have a new episode of Disaster Daters that came out on Tuesday. We have a new episode of the Pop Report that'll be coming out tomorrow. So you're covered on all the bases. So yeah, sorry, I'm just posting this on the IG. That way everyone knows that we are streaming now. Okay. That said. I was listening. So I know we've talked a lot about like Shannon, Doherty, and Charmed and all of that. Lately, I finally caught up with the House of Hallowell podcast. I listened to the first episode because obviously they taped the first 4 episodes with Shannon Doherty before she passed away on Saturday. And so I tried to start the pilot again last night. I've obviously seen it before, but I was wanting to like rewatch the pilot and then listen to the podcast and see what they had to say. I'm starting to think that like maybe you don't really need to rewatch the episodes in order to listen to their rewatch of them if you've already seen them. I guess it's kind of fun, but I listened to the House of Hallowell podcast this morning, and it was good. It was fun. They had like the director on, and they were talking about the show, and Shannon Doherty surprisingly had some nice things to say about Alyssa Milano and how, you know, obviously the original character in the presentation versus when they actually aired the pilot, the actress that Alyssa Milano replaced was in the original presentation, but she quit the show. I think she quit the show because her religion was like really strict, and she's like, I don't think I can do a show about Wicca and, you know, witches and all of that stuff, which the show eventually became a lot more like light and campy. But they said that the original version of the show was very serious, which evolved and changed with the help of Alyssa Milano. But yeah, it was good. It was a good. So if anybody, just because I know we've been talking about it for a while with Shannon and her passing, it's a good episode. It's under an hour. But the interesting, sorry, I'm obsessed with Charmed. I love Charmed. It was one of my favorite shows when it was on the air, and so especially with it like having all the drama with Shannon versus Alyssa over the past few months, and now Shannon passing. It's just, and I've always loved Shannon Doherty, but Drew Fuller, who played Chris, he was the one from the future that came back. Piper's son from the future that came back. He came up with a concept about how if they were to do a Charmed reboot, they could have it be part of like the metaverse, since like that's been a big thing in the Marvel world about the metaverse and how they're parallel realities. And obviously, if you know about the power of manifestation and you know all of the dual, I mean the multiverse, I don't know, I guess is kind of real, and how you can channel which verse that you're in. And well, yeah, it's a thing. And if you watch the TikTok, my TikTok is all about like that stuff, manifestation and spirituality. And you know, then there's like the indigo children that keep popping up on my feed, and they like tell, I don't know, it's crazy. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent. But listen, I think that if Marvel said it correctly, the metaverse is, I don't know. Now I'm getting crazy conspiracy theory. Okay, sorry, I'm getting off track. But it's a good episode, and I think that that would be an interesting concept. And he said that they would take it back to the day that like Prue died, and then the show would be focused in the metaverse, and how I guess one of the witches ends up tapping over. And then, I mean, obviously it would be set like years. What year did Prue die on the show? Like 2002. So it would be 20 years set in the future. That's wild. Because I mean, listen, it's 20 years. So obviously everybody has aged. And that's not to age shame anybody, but like age is a natural part of life, and they've aged 20 years. They don't look the same. So you can't like be like frozen in that time. But Charmed is good, and I think that that would have been a fun concept, but obviously now we can't do that. But Shannon was saying that she wanted to pitch the concept to CBS, and she was hoping that CBS would pick it up, and she doesn't see why CBS wouldn't pick it up, even if it were just for like a movie. And she said that if CBS were not going to pick it up, but that they should at least release the rights so that they could take the concept to a streaming service. Shannon was very smart. She was a director and an actress, and she had a good head on her shoulders when it came to the industry, and she'd been burned in the industry so many times that she knew how to protect herself, that I think she would have actually been able to successfully pull it off. I still want to see it. I mean, obviously, Shannon Doherty's passed away, but Prue's character died on the show, that we could still do a Charmed reboot, right? I would love with all four sisters, but Prue's character wasn't on the show in the end. They would have to pay some sort of tribute to Prue, though. Okay, that's my Charmed rant. Tom's house was broken into and he confronted the burglar and then had to go have eye surgery. And I sent my son. My son had to go over and check on him, and he flipped his car 5 times on the way home. So yeah, I'm under a lot of stress. Okay, let's talk about Sandoval. Tom Sandoval, your favorite topic, right? We love Tom Sandoval. Oh my goodness. Good gracious. Obviously, yesterday we got the news, and we talked about it on yesterday's episode of the podcast. We got the news that Tom Sandoval is suing Ariana Madix for essentially breaking into his phone and stealing the video of Rachel, that she had no authorization, to obtain that video. And I said it yesterday, I don't think Tom's suing Ariana for the money. He's suing her so that he can, and in his lawyer's statement, they said they just want to make sure that responsibility is equally distributed, yada, yada, yada. And I always thought, as soon as I read the news, that this had to be in relation to Rachel's lawsuit against him. And I know everyone's trying to make a thing about Tom's lawyer being the brother of Rachel's lawyer. I don't think they're in cahoots. I think it's a weird, twisted, fucked up sibling rivalry that the two of them have, that the two lawyers have, and they're like using this to get back at each other. But again, we don't know the exact details, but I do not believe that Tom and Rachel are in cahoots, because Rachel is still suing Tom. But I think Tom's like, listen, it wasn't all my fault. I'm not the one that got the video out there. And I think his counsel is giving him some real bad advice, because it's not helping his image. It's not going to help him book any jobs, because at this point, nobody really wants to see Sandoval on their television screen. Like, I kept trying to give him the benefit of the doubt and wanted to believe that he was moving on. And now I'm just like, fuck off, dude. Like, even if your lawyer gives you bad advice, you're the one that took the advice and chose to move forward with it. And now the cast has reacted. So Scheana said that he's not somebody that she wants to be friends with. She feels like he absolutely made a fool of her. She went on her Instagram story and was talking about it. She said that it was a shitty thing to do on top of an already really shitty thing that he's done originally. And now at this point, she's just done with him. She's over him. She wants nothing to do with him. Yeah. Book Sweetheart says he's the one that secretly recorded. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, technically, but like, how is Ariana supposed to know that the video was recorded without Rachel's consent? How is Ariana supposed to know that Tom was illegally recording her, and that those videos were not, that Rachel was unaware of those videos? Like, all of that information was unbeknownst to Ariana. I mean, it's essentially like, let's say you're hooking up with your mistress and you have a hidden camera in the bedroom. The mistress doesn't know that you're filming your intimate moment with the mistress, right? That is eavesdropping. And I guess there is an element of invasion of privacy. The hard thing with invasion of privacy is you have to invade somebody's privacy. Whereas, and I get his legal team's argument of being like, well, we didn't invade her privacy because they were sharing this moment of privacy together. The privacy was between Tom and Rachel, and it was under the understanding that, or with the understanding that Tom and Rachel were the only two that were ever supposed to be privy to that intimate moment. Now, obviously, he was recording it without her consent, which she did not agree to. What I'm trying to think of, like, what law that would be breaking, because I feel like that's a very specific, like, because he kept the video. It's one thing to record somebody and then to distribute that recording, and that's where I understand you have grounds to sue them, because they illegally recorded you and then released that footage. But in this case, like, Tom never released it, so there was no breach in privacy, because it was meant to remain private between he and Rachel. Eavesdropping, I also think, is a bit of a stretch too, because eavesdropping is, kind of where you're under the impression that you're in an intimate private space and it's just you and somebody is viewing you without your knowledge, which I guess it kind of falls a bit more onto under eavesdropping because he was recording her without her permission. Nikki says Ariana sent it to other people. Tom said as much. I predicted that they would flip on each other. When were they ever when were they ever on the same team? I didn't think that they would flip. I don't You predicted that they would flip on each other. They were never on each other. They were always on opposite ends of this, hating each other. They were never working together. There's no flipping on each other. Um, but but we don't have that so far. That's just an accusation that Ariana sent this to other people. But I don't think, and again, there has not been a forensic um, accounting of the metadata to prove that Ariana distributed the video to anybody else besides herself and Rachel. There's no proof of that. We don't know that for a fact at all because, again, there is no actual metadata. I mean, regardless, it's just morally wrong. It's morally wrong, period. But morally wrong and illegal are two completely different things. Remember, we talk about this often because everyone's like, I don't like this. This is the da, 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 da. Morality and culpability, two completely different things, right? You can do things that are immoral. However, you can't necessarily be held, you know, criminally if it's not technically breaking the law. It depends on how you lay out the case. You know, lawyers defend immoral things all the time. Doesn't make them right, but it still doesn't make them illegal at the same time. You know, and again, morality is subjective. Brian says, seems like Tom's counsel is more interested that build rate money rolling in, and how do we know the lawyers, the brothers, are working together to keep both Tom and Rachel billed? I mean, listen, I don't think that Tom and Rachel are working together. I don't think they like each other. I think Tom despises Rachel for the fact that she continues to position herself as the victim in all of this, and I think Rachel is so blinded by, you know, everything that she's been told with her little therapy sessions, and I don't believe that Rachel and Tom are in cahoots at all. I don't know if the brothers are in cahoots or they're just in competition with each other. Because listen, if you have a fucked up relationship with your brother and you're able to pick up the case of the person that your brother is suing, you're gonna that's gonna be more motivation for you to want to fucking take down your brother, right? Who knows what their family dynamic is? I didn't even know Mark Garagos had a brother. Matthew Garagos is Tom's attorney. So I don't think that they're working together at all. I think if anything, if they were working together, that would be more ammunition for Ariana to maybe, you know, fight. I don't know. To me, it sounds like a fun theory, but I don't think that there's cahoots going on between the two of them. Is this part of his hype game? I don't know. I don't know. They all expect each other to pay their legal fees for bad behavior. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. And so, but I don't think that Tom's necessarily suing Ariana because he wants money from her. I think he's suing her to try and absorb himself of responsibility from the accusations that Rachel is making against them in her lawsuit. I don't think he cares to get money from Ariana. He just did the Traders. Like, he just finished Vanderpump Rules. His, you know, Schwartz and Sandy's is finally in a better place. I mean, now I feel like he's fucking up Schwartz and Sandy's again. Poor Schwartz has been trying so hard to keep that damn bar afloat. And now here Tom goes again. And Schwartz has reacted to this by essentially deleting the birthday post. He made earlier in July, he made a post, I think what it was last week, about how, you know, let's show Tom some compassion. Let's show him some love, yada, yada, yada. It's his birthday. Like, send him some birthday love. And then Schwartz deleted it after this news came out. Schwartz is probably like, you know what, dude? Like, I'm tired of defending you. Like, I'm tired. It sucks because there were people like Schwartz and like Scheana and Brock who are just like, let's give the guy the benefit of the, even Lala, let's give the guy the benefit of the doubt. He's saying that he's changed. He's saying that he wants to be better. And then there were people like Katie, who's also chimed in, and we'll get to her comments in a second, who were like, nah, he hasn't changed. He's the same trash person he's always been. I don't believe that he's changed. And now here we are, and Tom Sandoval has proven he has not changed. I think he wants to change. But he's just incapable of doing that clearly. Because again, even if it was bad advice from his counsel, he still took the advice and allowed them to move forward with this. It was always going to be a PR shitstorm, which is why I think Tom deleted his Instagram. And so did Victoria, from what I've seen. The two of them, I think, are just in a really unhealthy relationship. And I Ain't about it. Ain't with it. Pamela says you don't have to like it, but you do have to be able to prove it in a court of law. Yes, I agree. Nikki says flip on each other, meaning that they would try to implicate each other who was more wrong. I don't think that they were ever not like I always expected them to flip on each other. If that's how we're defining flip on each other. I never thought that they were on the same team. I always thought that she was going to blame Tom and Tom was going to be like, I didn't do it. I honestly didn't expect Tom to blame Ariana. I knew Ariana was always going to blame Tom and that's what she was doing. But I did not see this part coming. This was a plot twist because he was really trying to sell us on how much he has grown and changed and evolved. And that's why I like when Ariana's attorney was like, if Tom and Rachel had it their way, it would be illegal to have your affair exposed at all. Laura says, I wish morals and legality would match up more, but they're very different. Well, the thing, you can't have that match up. Like, I don't think morality and culpability will ever align because when it comes to morality, morality is subjective and there are nuances and context, like with an example of like, is there, an involuntary manslaughter situation like with Alec Baldwin, or is there a Gypsy Rose situation where it's more premeditated, right? The result is still the same way. Somebody still, is no longer here as a result of those actions, but the process in which we got to that point, very different. The intentions, very different. So you can't look at it as black and white of like, oh, well, somebody lost their life. That's a bad thing. Morally, that's wrong. So because morally someone lost their life at the hands of somebody else holds the same way, death penalty for all. That's just not the reality, That's why there are certain laws in place and there are certain statutes and criteria that need to be met in order for a law to, but again, you can't judge it based off of what is morally correct. You have to judge it based off of strict criteria and definitions. Otherwise, what I think is morally, corrupt and what you think is morally corrupt can be two different things, right? You can think that, tax evasion holds the same weight as, running somebody over with your car. They're both technically crimes, death penalty for all. Whereas I'm like, no, I actually think it's different. One well, they're both intentional, right? So they're both wrong, but they don't both have the same level of um, punishment. And then a third party can come in and be like, oh, well, I actually think it's wrong to run somebody over, but I think it's okay to cheat on your taxes. Or I think it's wrong to cheat on your taxes, but if you run somebody over because they were rude to you, or it's your shitty ex, or it's Tom Sandoval, I'm okay with that. I'll allow it. Right. So everyone's moral compass is a little different. That's why you'll never have, legalities and morality align with each other. Rachel's in her spokesperson for the mistress era. She really is. And that's a really interesting, position to kind of take. She's really leaning into the mistress role. Like when she was on her podcast and she was just like, I get it. I'm a mistress, but like it happens. And, I'm just glad that I can be like a representation for women that are in that same position. I'm like, what? That are morally corrupt enough to fuck their best friend's dude? And lie about it for 7 months and, like, go on camera and pretend that it's not happening? Like, that's what you're a representation of? Like, I don't get it. I'm confused. If anything, this makes Rachel look better now that Tom is also suing Ariana. Now it's like everybody's really leaning towards team Ariana. Yeah, the two brothers aren't working together, guys. We can drop that narrative. Wow, so much fun to be on the live chat. Love from Stockholm, Sweden. Loved the first episode of OT. You look great, Zach. Looking forward to your recap of OC. We chatted about the OC premiere a couple days ago. It was great. Mistresses need representation too. That's kind of the archetype. That's kind of like what she's leaning into is like mistresses need representation too. And I'm like, what in the Rachel you could tell is going on here? Like even Rachel you could tell knew when to pivot. Even Monica Lewinsky knew when to pivot, right? Even Stormy Daniels, knew when to pivot from being the victim of all victims, right? I'm saying she's going to be the next Amber Rose. She is not going to be the next Amber Rose, trust me. As long as she's consistent and doesn't keep flip-flopping, own it and find your own audience. I mean, I guess, but, like, who's gonna be like, "Yeah, let's go mistress crowd. Let's just fuck everybody's husbands," you know? As somebody that has been branded a husband fucker, like, I just wanna say, like, I that's I know I've joked about it, but I've never been like, "You know what? I'm gonna lean into the role of being a mistress. Like, I'm just gonna go hard and just, like, own it. Shit happens. You accidentally fall on your friend's husband's dick. Shit happens, you know? Like, I would never it's one thing to, like, lean into being a hoe. It's another thing to lean into, doing the not the walk of shame, but the slut strut or whatever. That's one thing, but, like, my god. Zach, you're looking like a hunk of burning love with the fresh haircut. Thanks so much for making me laugh when life has been hard. Thank you from Perth, Washington. Rocky's hose for hose. But, like, she's, like, one of the morally corrupt ones. This is giving me life today, not Tom's actions, but Zach and this life. The live chat is on fire today. Oof. When you say morally corrupt, I only think of one person, Faye Resnick. Yes, I know. She's obviously not the sharpest tool in the show. It just, I smell a new reality show. Rocky Raquel, Tempe, Arizona, Madam. Oh, could you imagine if she leaned in? She became the next Heidi Fleiss. Yeah. Okay. Let's read what Katie wrote. So that was Tom deleted his Instagram photo with Schwartz deleted his Instagram photo with Sandoval. Scheana said that that's not somebody that she wants to be friends with. So this is either going to get Vanderpump Rules canceled altogether, or they're just going to completely eliminate Tom Sandoval or try to reboot it. If anything, all this is going to do is further delay the show from coming back. They're not going to pick up cameras anymore to capture any of this. So if he thought that was a smart strategy, that like this would help push cameras forward, it's not. Bravo's gonna be like, fuck this. We don't want to be part of this mess. Heidi Fleiss, what a blast from the past. So when this was announced by Sir underscore Sir Rules on Instagram, Katie commented and she said authorized permission, because that's what Tom Sandoval claimed, that Ariana did not have authorized permission in order to obtain access to the contents of his cell phone. Katie says, authorized permission. That's an interesting choice of words, pal. Anyway, you fucking suck, dude. I agree. No notes. Katie continued by saying, because somebody asked about whether or not he gave Ariana the password and whether or not she would have had access or whatever. And she says, no, he didn't, but he did share his phone's passcode. Or like somebody said, did he give her explicit permission? And she said, no, he didn't, but he did share his phone's passcode with his partner at the time. Man's confused about how that bit works, I guess, which is very true. And then Zach Wickham from the Valley, Zach with the hair, the bad hair. I'm Becky with the good hair, and he's Becky with the bad hair. Zach with the bad hair says, wow, a new low has just entered the conversation. I agree. Well, I guess this is a question. I agree with Zach. This is a question for all the people that are in relationships or that have been in relationships. Do you share your passcode with your partner? And number one, then would you be upset if your partner went into your phone, even though you gave them the passcode, right? You said, here, you can check, here are the passwords, would you then feel violated if they then decided to go into your phone? Kristen Doty would have been fucked if the Vanderpump Rules cast was Sue happy in the past. They were too broke to sue each other. That's the thing. They were way too broke. Absolutely not. Hell no. You would not be upset if your partner went into your phone if you gave them the password, or absolutely not, you would not give them the password. I need clarity, guys. When you write content, when you say no to what? Use your words. Hell no. And if the issue is if that's an issue, then they can find another partner. Tom has been known that this was a bad idea because he deleted his Instagram account. So why did it? So why do it, you freak? Yeah, he knew it was going to be bad. I do share and I would not get upset because they would not find anything. Good point, Danny. Mary says yes. And no, there should be no secrets between the couples. Brittany said, absolutely. Do me and my man share passcodes? We ask each other all the time to go on each other's phones if one is closer. Go on each other's phones for what? If one is closer, like, hey, could I borrow your phone to like text my friend from your phone? Brittany. Joe said, yes, period, no period. Got it. Thank you for the clarity, Joe. My husband and my kids have my code. Yeah, I think you give up your code when there's nothing for you to hide. And when you give up somebody your code, that's essentially saying, hey, you have access to my phone. No, the password unless we have kids and are married. Okay. Not at all. He has total access to all of my stuff. Yeah, I think I wouldn't be like, yeah, if I were in a relationship, but I would have no problem giving somebody. Well, I don't know. I'm a bit more, I think I'm a little more, a little more frugal. I'm a little more hesitant. My walls are up a bit more when it comes to that sort of stuff. Like if I were in a relationship, I don't know if I would immediately be like, yeah, here's my passcode. Cause then I immediately think, well, like, what if this doesn't work out in 3 months? What if this doesn't work out in 6 months? Then he has all of my passwords. And then if I break up with him, then I'll have to change all of my passwords. I'm like, I just need to make sure that this is going somewhere before I trust you enough to give you all my passwords because I don't want to change them when this ends, you know? Did you talk about his last IG? What was his last IG? My boyfriend knows my passcode, and I don't care if he goes through my phone. He never does because he trusts me. Yeah, see, I don't mind. Like, if you want to go through my phone and I'm in a relationship with you, like, I'm not cheating. Like, I'm not going to do anything nefarious. So, like, yeah, you would have permission to go through my stuff. However, I would just be concerned that when it doesn't last, I don't want you to then still have access to my stuff. You know? If there's nothing to hide, it shouldn't be a problem. I agree. Maxim says, often you'll share your passcode so that they can change the music, but I would be upset if he used it after because he didn't trust me. Well, if he doesn't trust you, then that says that maybe there's a breakdown in communication in your relationship, right? Tracy says, never share a passcode. Well, we know Tracy's got some shady shit going on. Bobby says, yes, I share passcodes. I'd feel more disappointed in knowing that they don't trust me more than them snooping. Yeah, I would agree. I think the betrayal is more of like there's a lack of trust. But then if you're doing something that violates their trust, then hell yeah, then they have like the point is valid. Like check my phone if it goes off and if he's closer to it. I got it, Brittany. I thought you meant like, oh, I want to text my friend. Oh, your phone's right here. I'm just gonna text my friend from your phone. Hey, bitch. You know, go in my phone. I don't care. And while you're there, drop me a few grand into my account. Yeah, Venmo it. Give me that Zelle. Glenn says, Zach, you were such a snack without the beard. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do plan on growing the beard back out. Like scruff. I like a little scruff. I just think the bare face is a little too bare for me, you know? Mallory says, I don't care about knowing passcodes. You're gonna cheat if you want to cheat. You're gonna delete shit and hide shit and be a shitty person like Sandoval. Yeah, I guess. Maybe Schwartz got a subpoena. I expect that would cause him to drop Tom. Yeah, that actually would. A phone without a passcode is a paperweight. Do people still not put passcodes? JP says you aren't anywhere near close to ready for a relationship. Of course, you don't understand. No, I understand. I'm just saying for me, I am always predicting the relationship to end. Therefore, I have issues I need to work through or don't. That's just who I am. Take me as I am. Um, but there's no lack of understanding, JB. I fully understand. I also fully understand that some people feel one way and some people feel another way, and both of them are in relationships that I'm sure are successful and happy. What works for one person doesn't always work for another relationship. Brian says, I'll unlock it for you with my face recognition and you can drop a few grand into the account. Did Tom ever talk about the Billy Lee stuff? No, he didn't, which leads me to believe that it was Victoria posting on Tom's account and it was not Tom Sandoval while he was off filming The Traitors. I'm very old school and I'm a private person, so I need my own separate life outside of the relationship. Okay, Rory. What do you have? You have money in your mattress that your husband don't know about. Oh my god, the IG was him and Victoria high as hell at 4 AM. Everyone said they were on something. Oh, I believe it. I believe it. I don't think Tom's in a healthy place right now. I think he's in a really, really bad headspace right now, and his relationship is not healthy. I think the more time goes on, the more I believe everything Billy Lee said about Tom and Victoria. Nicholas says, I don't have passcodes. I only have passcodes to my OnlyFans. He's not getting those. You have an OnlyFans? Drop a link. Mary says, Zach, you will meet someone one day. Trust. Thank you, Mary. I'm actually okay. Well, listen, I'm just in my me era, my bliss. I've cleared the roster. I have no interest in anyone at the moment. I'm just living my best life. Never share your location with Scheana either. Why not? Listen, if shit goes down, Scheana knows where my body was last seen. Nobody has my location. That makes me kinda sad sometimes. I think about that and I'm like, "Oh," like, partners have each other's locations and, like, parents have their kids' locations and whatnot, and, like, you send the people you love your location, and you have their location and blah, 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 and I'm like, "Nobody has my location." If shit goes down and there's no cameras around, nobody's ever gonna know. Nobody will ever find me. I like being single. Yeah, I like being single too, end up. Okay. Live your best life. Things happen when they happen. I agree, Rachie. You're handsome. And like Fergie said, working on my fitness. He's my witness. Ooh wee. Zach is good single or ST. What is ST? What does ST stand for? When you find the right one at the right time. Until then. Until then, what? Scheana is more informed than the 911. Good for her. Funny, I will share my code for my phone, but I don't share my location. Why? Where are you that you're, you know? Sorry, Zach is good, single, or dating. That is a good place to be. Good, single, and dating. Yes. Zach hates me. Yes, I do, Christopher. Okay, I think. Well, let's talk. Let's move. Ariana also shaded Tom. Sorry, no, we got lost on the tangent. We talked about Katie. We talked about Schwartz. We talked about Scheana, but Ariana shaded Tom. So I went to a breakfast with Threads, which is like the alternate Twitter. It's the meta version of Twitter. Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, they have Threads. And so I went to a breakfast with Threads. And why? Oh, and I went to watch the Emmy nominations with Threads. That's why they were hosting the breakfast, that we could all watch the Emmy nominations together, which was very lovely. And I was threading about it. But Vanderpump Rules was nominated again for the second year in a row for Outstanding Unscripted Television Program. And Ariana posted on her Instagram about it, and she said, congratulations to Evolution Media and congratulations to everyone who makes the show great. And then in it was the cast photo that was used to announce the Emmy nomination. And on the cast photo, she covered up Tom's face with a GIF that said, "Well done." So you see all of the cast, full cast picture. You see everyone except for Tom Sandoval because she covered it up with a sticker, a GIF, like the little moving stickers, and it said, "Well done." So congrats to everyone that makes the show great. She should have thanked Rachel too. Are we doing members only tonight? Yes, we are. And you got a cute tote bag that I did. Oh, where's my bag at? Oh, I think it's outside on the dining table. But yeah. Chitty chitty bang 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 bang. Chitty chitty bang 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 bang. Can't wait to hear your recap tomorrow on OC. Well, we don't have an episode tomorrow, unless you're a member. Then you get the members only episode. But you'll hear my recap on Monday. Folk show. Folk shizzle. Is OC on tonight? No, OC's on Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday. I don't remember. Or is it Thursday? No, it's not on Thursdays. I don't know. The Bear is not a comedy. No, it's not a comedy. I didn't enjoy the third season of The Bear, to be honest. I mean, it was fine. It had its moments, but it wasn't overall a great season, TBH. But it wasn't as bad as people were making it out to be. I will say that. Where was it? Oh, let's talk OCs because we have the The taglines are here. Okay, so let's go through the Orange County taglines. So first up, we have Jen Pedranti. Her tagline is "People bend over backwards to get me, and their form is terrible." Because obviously people want to take her down because her fiance is amazing, and bend over backwards because she's a yoga instructor. Fine, it was one of the better ones. I'll tell you that. Um. Someone says, anyone watching Million Dollar Listings should slide into Josh Flagg's DMs. Listen, tell Josh Flagg I'm ready. I would absolutely date Josh Flagg for like a minute. I don't know if it would actually last, but like I'm single. I'm here for it. Okay, then we get to Emily Simpson, and Emily says, I used to question people for a living. Now I just do it for fun. This one's cute because she used to be a lawyer, she used to be an attorney, and she used to, cross examine people. And now she just questions people for fun. She's messy. She's owning her mess. Okay. I'm here for it. Then we have Shannon Storms Beador. And Shannon says, even in the harshest times, this storms will always weather it. Cute. Like, I don't think any of these taglines are that groundbreaking, but that was cute. Then we have Heather Dubrow. Just because I drink from a flute doesn't mean you can play me. Cute. You know? Wow, everyone's really shipping me and Josh Flagg. Danny says, oh, wow, you and Josh Flagg. Oh, wait. Uh-oh, where did it go? Oh, well, you and Josh Flagg would be spicy AF. And Lil Van Warrior says, ooh, you and Josh Flagg would be an epic pairing. I've never watched Million Dollar Listing. So all I know of Josh Flagg is like Instagram photos and stuff. So I don't know why that would be so epic or so spicy or so exciting. Yeah. Marianne says, yeah, you and Josh would make an adorable couple. See, I don't understand why. Again, I've never watched Million Dollar Listing, so I wouldn't know. Wow, Rick Brown with the super sticker. Rick Brown said, I'll be your sugar daddy. Okay, Rick Brown, slide into my DMs with that big dollar sign. Look at him dropping that expensive super sticker. It's expensive to be me. That's just who I be. It's expensive to be me. Wait, should I? Sorry, these taglines are boring. Let's get through the rest of them. Gina says, like the properties I represent, I know my worth. Girl, you didn't even know the details of your last property. Calm down. Tamra Judge said, the only thing stuck up about me is my middle finger. Cute, but like, I don't know. I'm kind of over taglines in general. I just feel like they feel very try hard. And then we have Katie, the new girl. And Katie says, when you live your life on the green, envy is just par for the course. Cute. I mean, none of them I think were groundbreaking. It wasn't like, oh, burn. But yeah. Should we slide into Josh Flagg's DMs? Let's see. Did he post anything fun lately? I actually met this really cute Josh over the weekend. Oh, I'm following him. I don't know. Guys, what would be so I don't know if I could live that life with Josh, but like he is on yachts all that. Well, I mean, that's not a terrible life to live, but I'm a working bitch. You know what I mean? I'm like fancy blue collar. I have to work. I like to work. I love working. I'm never going to be a sugar baby. Some people are cool with the sugar baby lifestyle. I don't want to be a sugar baby. You know? Someone should use this tagline. How do you expect me to spill the tea if I'm too busy stirring it? I actually like that one, Joe. Huh. But I like spilling the tea and stirring it. He's rich, honey. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yeah. I told you, Flag, last year you need that money in your life, but I don't know if I could be like taking care of it. I don't know. Nicholas says, I find it hard to believe that you, Zach, are single. As handsome as you are, I bet you have tons of boyfriends. Tell us the real tea. I don't have tons of boyfriends. I have tons of guys that I've like kept around over the years, but I don't think any of them are like real strong potentials. I'm somebody that always thinks about compatibility and longevity. I told the last guy that I was talking to, we'll get into that in members only. Again, I wanted to tell that story on disaster daters, but Jeff was a fucking disaster this week that we're going to have to kill that episode altogether. And I don't know if I want to retape any of that. But I'll give you the scoop on disaster daters. I'll give you an update on what's going on. I'll give you the scoop on members only. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. Everyone says you and Josh Flagg would be so sassy. Interesting. Your personality and your vibes would keep him on his toes. Well, my grandma used to say that it's easy to fall in love with a rich man just as easy as it is to fall in love with a poor man. You know what? That's a really good point. That's a great point. I'm going to stop falling in love with these broke dudes. You know what? Go home to your mama. I'm going to find something else. Brian says, Josh Flagg seems like a narcissist, neurotic mess to be around. Yeah, I agree. Well, I don't know him, but I've heard things. You're both saucy and have a sense of humor. Yeah. Zach needs sound effects. Sound effects for what? I'm so over Tamra. I like Tamra. Zach, what would your tagline be? Oh, I don't know. I feel like I have come up with them and oh, I don't need a husband. I already have yours. There you go. That's my tagline. Those taglines, like, yeah, all the OC taglines definitely suck. Jen is on Bravo Andy tomorrow with her messy boyfriend. Oh, God. Ooh, Zach sliding into Josh's DMs could be a cameo request. Guys, I'll do it. I am on book me on Cameo. Book me on the Cameo. We may be about to witness history, guys. What is the history? Zach should slide into the DMs. I need a drink in me, and then I need like someone to like coach me as to. I'm not like a DMs like I don't know. How do you slide into someone's DMs effectively? I don't know. You're a working bitch. You're a working stallion. You work a lot. That I do, and I like it. You and Josh Flagg would be a no. Thank you, JB. JB, you always come in with the meanest things every week, and I appreciate you. Josh Flagg is high maintenance, not a match. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Zach really doesn't want to be in a relationship. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. I don't know. I have moments where I'm like open to it, but like that's the most I've never been like, I want to be in a relationship. I've had moments where I'm open to being in a relationship and I would like a relationship. I would like a partner. Pamela says, you need Josh to make an honest man out of you. I'm pretty honest. I don't think there's anything dishonest about me. I'm pretty honest, yo. You should invite Josh Flagg on Disaster Daters and he can plug $1 million listing. Interesting. You might be too assertive for Josh Flagg. Why? You two would clash so much. Oh, I love that though. I feel like that would. Okay, that's a great idea, Joe, about inviting him on Disaster Daters. Aoko says, Zach, do it, do it, do it. Invite him on Disaster Daters, like Joe Deedle said. Oh, don't do it, Zach. He doesn't seem right for you. I would do it for the plot. So tonight on members only. Yes, tonight on tonight on members only for sure. I like Joe's idea. Get him. Okay, everyone wants to see Josh Flagg on Disaster Daters. You know what? Right now, I'm not excited to go back into studio for Disaster Daters. Yesterday's taping was just such a disaster that I need a bit of a break for like a minute because we do have to tape new episodes because we're already way behind schedule. Just see how things are, not for lack of love. Yeah, I'm just testing the waters. Josh and his first boyfriend, forget his name. He was nice. Bobby? You seem really busy, so maybe it's not the right time for a relationship. Well, here's the thing. I'm always going to be really busy. I'm never going to not be busy. I'm going to be Joan Rivers working until I'm on my deathbed, dying after surgery, dying during surgery. So that makes me sad. Why does that make you sad? What makes you sad? Which part? I don't wanna make you sad. I'm not sad. I'm very happy. I'm just saying I'm always gonna be working. I'm never gonna be not working. That's so whoever comes into my life is just going to have to compatibility-wise fit in with that and be okay with that and know that I will prioritize time for my relationship when I'm in a relationship, but, like, Psychologist Joe here says, "If you text me the salvageable episode of Disaster Daters, I can tell you both what you need to do." No, that footage is never going to see the light of day ever. Literally ever. That is going to be burned footage. That is going to be buried with Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Morocco. It will never see the light of day. It just won't. Um, no, sad about the bummer that taping Disaster Daters was. Not that you're doing your thing and living your best. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was a bummer. It was a bummer for me too, but it's fine. It'll all resolve itself. Just somebody came in and was not in a good mood and was very unpleasant to tape with that day and was very their behavior was just not tolerable and it just was not translating well. So it's not like a you said something that I don't want out there. It's more of just like the episode itself was bad. Like it was chaotic. It was all over the place. Jeff was very inappropriate. He was very rude. And he did say a couple of things to me that I just completely shut down after. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. We're not releasing this episode. So, like, at one point, I just stopped and I sat there. I didn't have a bravo, bravo, bravo moment. I just fucking stopped and I was like, I'm done talking. And I just sat there and and everyone else was going back and forth and, like, wondering why, like, I wasn't chiming in, but I was like, "Fuck this. No, I'm literally done. I'm not taping the rest of this episode. We're not gonna air this, so entertain yourselves to wrap up the episode. We ain't releasing it." So, did Jeff apologize? No, Jeff has not apologized. And then we had to tape the episode with Chef Stu immediately after that. So I'm just warning you guys right now, next week when you watch the episode with Chef Stu, you will see I will not even my body is not even turned to Jeffrey. I don't speak to him. I don't acknowledge him very much. Like there's no I don't think we said more than a sentence to each other, if that. It was me and Stu and it was Jeff and Stu. There's always another side to the story though. No, I think he wasn't feeling well and shouldn't have come in to tape. He didn't need to and shouldn't have, and it's a long story. That's my number one rule is don't do business with family and friends. No, it's not about being family or friends. It's about being professional when we're working. How do you guys normally resolve conflict? Normally, I make excuses for his bad behavior. Normally, I try to give him the utmost grace and defend him. But when he turns that behavior towards me and when he turns that behavior towards a project that I put my face and my name on, that's when it's a little different for me. Joe might be your no, I don't think I don't want to replace him. Um, but it's not about mixing personal with professional. It's about the fact that if we're going to be professionals, then we should always be professional when we're recording. Otherwise, we're wasting everybody's time. That was my issue. It's like this is a waste of time because this episode, somebody's not being professional and holding their weight to co-host this. And I'm irritated. And yeah, so you enable him. Yes, I've absolutely enabled him. And I realized that. I had this point of like, I've enabled this behavior because I defend this behavior when it's outside of the studio, and I defend this behavior when it's directed at other people, and I make excuses for this behavior. And now this behavior has dipped over to a territory that I will not allow. Yes, he needs a friendly and honest talk so that we can move forward. And maybe a third party mediator because I want to be nice, you know. Regarding Tom and Rachel, allegedly Ariana distributed the video to anyone other than Rachel's ridiculous. Common sense tells us that if anyone else has seen the video, it would have blown up on the internet. That too. I don't think the video was ever distributed. There's no proof of that, you know. And Dip said, okay, I think this has the potential to blow up. Have you talked? I have not spoken to Jeffrey yet. Especially because as we were leaving the studio, he's like, "Why did you just stop talking through taping?" And I was like, "If you don't understand why I'm upset with you right now. We're not discussing this right now." And he's like, "Okay, bye." And again, it's because I think a lot of us enable certain behavior, and now it's time to not enable certain behavior because it can get carried away. And I'm okay with it. And I shouldn't have been. There are many instances where I should not have defended it or I should have checked it in the moment that I did not, because I know that there's a very good, loving side of Jeffrey. And that's why I adore him as my friend. And that's why I work with him and have continued to work with him and want to support him in every aspect. But there does come a point. Could we get Joe as a call-in on Disaster Daters? Joe should send in some stories. I feel like Joe has some good Disaster Dater stories that he can send in for us to read on the show. Dun, 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 dun. I nominate Joe's maid. Don't let these conversations get in between your friendship. These chats can get carried away. No, I'm not. Listen, I have a good head on my shoulders. I do not think that this will be in any way, the end of a friendship with Jeffrey. It's just these are things that happen. Christopher says, "Can Andy fill in on Disaster Daters?" We may have already tried that. um, yeah, it's not a conversation. It's not like it's not going to be ruined, and the live chat has no effect on this. At the end of the day, there's a good level of respect for each other, and I just think sometimes we need to remember to uphold that level of respect for each other, which is also why I've chosen to not have the conversation with him yet, because I feel like time and dust needs to settle a little bit so I don't come into it from an emotionally charged place. I want to come into it from, a place that is very understanding and empathetic, but also, serious enough to, you know, understand that that cannot happen again. I love Jeff, the ebbs and flows, especially in working with friends. And once you communicate, I'm sure to work. Yeah, listen, Andy and I have our moments, right? We tape the pop report together and we have moments where, sometimes we'll need to have these conversations about like how, okay, you said this on the show and I didn't appreciate that, or you did this and or I'm carrying a little more weight than you're carrying. And it's about just having those difficult conversations and working through them. And it's fine at the end of the day, it's just a matter of having conversations that may be challenging, but just making sure there's an open line of communication and a willingness to work through. Does Jeff watch your lives? Maybe he's gotten a gleam. No, he doesn't watch my lives. Jeff doesn't watch podcasts. Jeff has to tape the next 2 episodes topless. That's the punishment. Listen, I'm sure he would do it. Why are you the sweetest person on YouTube? I don't think I'm the sweetest person on YouTube. I'm a fucking bitch. How can anyone stay mad at you? What is your zodiac sign? I'm a Gemini. Setting boundaries and thorough communication is key. Every friendship, relationship. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm not concerned and I'm not worried about send him flowers. Fuck that. I'm not going to send him flowers. I deserve flowers, but I can buy myself flowers like Miley Cyrus taught me. I can buy myself flowers, write my name in the sand. Jeff seems like a sibling in a way. I fight with my bestie a lot. Yeah, Jeff, yeah. Maybe you just need to redefine expectations. Jeff's great. You're great. Yeah, I agree. What did Chris say? I can buy myself flowers. I want to take Andy to Greece like Mauricio. Christopher, you just come in here and thirst on everybody. You're like, I want to be your boyfriend. No, I want Andy. No, Jeff is so hot. You just need to rub one out, sweetie. Rub it out. Let it all out. What about the nicest dong? What about the nicest dong? Of those options, I would say I have the nicest dong. Zach is a Gemini, and so is Zach. Yes, Zach and Zach are Geminis. Yeah, Jeff and I are both Geminis. Gemini, you're not a bitch, Zach. I love you to death. Thank you. Only Andy can solve that problem. What problem? I can buy myself flowers. I worked with a guy named Nice Dong in Taiwan. And did he have a nice dong or did he have a nice bong? as in the backside. Remember, Mark represented Scott Peterson and lost. Just saying, if I were Rachel, I don't know how trusting. Yeah. Listen, Rachel's not getting good advice from anybody right now. What's the last bit of news? Shannon Beador says that she's done with Tamra Judge, which, I mean, housewives say this all the time, but she says, I'm done with it. I'm not dealing with her bullshit anymore. I don't want to be her friend anymore. She's terrible. And yeah, because, Tamra's not been a good friend to her, and she welcomed her back last season, and then Tamra went and betrayed her again and all of that stuff. So, yeah, there you go. I saw that Andy was in the OBX a few weeks ago near me. I live an hour away. What is OBX? I met an employee named La-A, but pronounced Ladasha. Ladasha. That's interesting. I'm loving the fresh face, Zach. You're giving right. Thank you, Jen. Scott Peterson is having a sentence appealed by California Innocence Project, so Mark was on the right track. Yeah, he just happened to fail. Best performance of OC was Shannon's golden retriever, Archie. Outer Banks. Okay. Thank you guys. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Happy Thursday, happy Friday, happy Saturday, happy Sunday. I'll be back with a new episode on Monday. If you're a member of No Filter Plus or a member of the Zack Pack on YouTube, then get ready, Freddie, because there will be a bonus episode tonight. I love you. I appreciate you. Have fun. Be nice to people. And I will talk to you next week. Give me a follow at Just Plain Zach all over the internet if you want to keep up. If you want to keep up with me, follow the podcast at No Filter with Zach on Instagram. Listen to Disaster Daters. Listen to the Pop Report. Leave us Apple Podcast reviews. Be sure to subscribe. We're trying to get to that 1,000 on the Pop Report. Let's see, where are we at right now? Because I'm like, we need to get it. Oh, we're at 720. So we're super close. We're less than 300 away from hitting that 1,000. We're so close, guys. If you have not subscribed yet, go and subscribe. We're at 720. We're so close. We're almost there. All right. I love you. I appreciate you. I will talk to you later. What time to do member? I think I'm going to try to do members only early today, but I'll let you know. All right. Yeah, just stay posted for the notification. I mean, we always do what? Like, maybe we'll do like 5 today because I have a couple errands to run, but maybe we'll do it super early. I don't know. We'll probably keep it around 5 Pacific, which is normally what we do. All right, guys. Ciao for now.